Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. I first want to start off this video by saying thank you to all those who've joined the Slack group. It's really been a fun experience chatting with you guys every day and kind of getting your feedback. Also being able to help you guys out with your trading has really been a lot of fun for me. I appreciate everyone in there. You guys are a blast. So I just want to say thank you. For those of you interested, just kind of go to my website, real-crypto.com, and there's some information on there on how you can get signed up. We've been having a lot of good conversations, and one topic that's been coming up quite a bit lately is, has Bitcoin bottomed? So we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Ethereum. Actually, we're going to go over several of the top altcoins today. In fact, most of them, most of the top 10 or 15 we're going to go over in this video. But has Bitcoin bottomed? I would actually say yes, Bitcoin has bottomed from its recent rundown. We talked a little bit about Bitcoin getting to 5,000. Looks like it didn't even get quite down to 5,000. It's pulled back about 30% from these highs. So right there, 31.62% according to my loose charting. So 31% is pulled all the way back, and the volume on this bottom candle definitely makes it a bottom. As you can see here, we have extraordinarily high volume when we hit 3,000. We had more high volume here. Actually on this breakout, but even this volume here was really good on this low. So this is definitely good bottoming volume, good volume on the next candle to the upside, and now we're kind of seeing a continuation move. It looks a little bit too fast in my opinion. However, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. I do think at this moment in time we have a lot of investors with a lot of money getting into Bitcoin, and that's what you're seeing here. I think that's why these bases have been a little deeper and a little longer. If you notice, it actually took Bitcoin quite some time to get from this high to the breakout point. It took about 55 days from when Bitcoin had this high over here at just under 3,000 to where it broke out again. And this most recent base, or I shouldn't say the most recent base, but this high over here at 5,000 to where it broke out again was only 40 bars. So, you know, you can stand to reason that we're going to have a shorter time frame from this all-time high to the next all-time high. Maybe we're talking 30 bars. I don't know exactly, but I know that we're in for a good bull run. It's not over. We're still going to go higher, and maybe we get another leg down here at some point in time, but the volume here in Bitcoin tells me that this move is basically done to the downside. I mean, look at that. Ever since the fork canceled, we've had basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of downside until a massive accumulation bar. And that is a massive accumulation bar. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of people out there think that a lot of money has rolled from Bitcoin into Bitcoin Cash. If you've had your head under a rock or are new to crypto, Bitcoin Cash had a massive run from the breakout point of $600 all the way up to $2,500 at its peak. Just under $24.97 was the high there. So a lot of people think a ton of money rolled over here into Bitcoin Cash, and while I'm sure some of it did, it doesn't mean that quite a bit of money still rolled into Bitcoin. So that being said, Bitcoin looks like it has bottomed, and we have a new player in Bitcoin Cash, but we'll talk about them. So what's in store for Bitcoin? Well, it's hard to say exactly. We've come down quite significantly and quite quickly, I might add, and we've gone up almost just as quick. It's 3 days into this rally, and volume has already subsided quite substantially. So hopefully we're due some kind of a consolidation here, and then maybe we can push higher from there. We do have a definite resistance here at this just under 7,000 level. Looks like 69 and change. We have a definite resistance point here. If we dive down to the 2-hour charts, it'll be a little more apparent. These two lows right here, just at above $6,900, and that's where this candle stopped right now, is right at that resistance level. Right at that resistance level we stopped. So we'll see if we can get above that. If not, maybe we roll over here. That is a possibility. But with this kind of volume down here in Bitcoin, if we roll over and go lower, I would say there's a good chance that Bitcoin's done for a little bit. There's a good chance of that. Will that money go into Bitcoin Cash? That's yet to be seen, but if you look at Bitcoin Cash, we have this massive run-up on just some insane volume. I'm just going to zoom out. I should be able to get all the history for Bitcoin Cash in here. Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's no volume like this ever. So a lot of people cashing out. Maybe there's new money coming in, maybe not, but there's definitely a lot of speculative volume coming in here. There's a lot of big players probably making, I mean, this is a 300% move in the course of a day and a half. So like I said, definitely some speculation volume. I would say most of this is probably going to be some washout volume. And then now we have some nice sideways action. Volume has already subsided very, very nicely. If you notice, we've already come all the way back down. It quieted up very quickly. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe we get another run up here, but we did pull back to 1,000. If you watch my Bitcoin Cash video, I did mention the 1,000 level. That's not because I'm a super genius, it's because it's a huge round number, and people like to support coins around large numbers. So, but keep an eye there on Bitcoin Cash. Ethereum, kind of a big story to me in Ethereum. If we go back out to the one-day chart, we have this large symmetrical triangle in Ethereum, and the volume is kind of quieted up quite substantially. If you look going all the way back to the major breakout over here in, what is it, February, when it was at like $15, that February breakout, look at that volume ever since. It's been kind of gargantuan. There's been a lot of volume, and it's really quieted since we hit that low of 200 in Ethereum, and we popped out to this, ever since we popped up to this high channel, the volume is really quieted down. Just really quiet in comparison to the rest of all this noise. And we're starting to see a little bit of volume increasing here. It's not really reflected in the average yet, although just slightly. You can see a slight uptick right there. But you can see we have about 5 to 10 bars right here above average volume, which has been abnormal since we've been in this channel. And if you notice here, we have two big green volume spikes, which is nice. And we're just kind of sitting in a tight consolidation right now in the upper level. This channel, which was observed, which is from 315 down to 290, we were trading within this channel. We popped up and failed, came all the way back down, tested the bottom of the channel, tested the bottom again, came up, and now we've crossed above the channel, and so far we're living above that channel. We did that here for 4 or 5 days. Hopefully we can break that record and live up here. If we do come back in towards the channel at 315, maybe we can consolidate and then bounce up again. That will put a really good floor in at this 315 level. If you want ETH for the longer term, I think this is a really good point to start accumulating a position. And if we get down towards 315, that would be an even better area to accumulate. If we go back into the channel under 315, that would be a little concerning. Doesn't mean the move is over. It just means that there's not as much interest as we hope that there is at this moment in time. So, but if volume can increase again, I would anticipate some upward action in Ethereum. All right, on to Litecoin. And we'll jump on Ripple. We'll jump on Ripple first. Ripple not doing much. Kind of range bound as well, like we saw in Ethereum from the 30-cent level down to the 10-cent level. It's a really, really wide range. So be careful in this one, as it can have these large swings, and that is a pretty big percentage basis. I mean, from 30 cents down to 10 cents, that's 300% upside and 66% downside. So don't get all caught up on the upside. But if we do get down towards 10, maybe you take a position. Any pop over, I say 25, could be sold into immediately. All right, Litecoin. So Litecoin, again, we're on the daily chart here. We're kind of taking a longer term perspective because I think altcoins have kind of stopped going down. So Litecoin, we had this big channel that we lived in. We popped above it. I was hoping we would get kind of an acceleration of the move, but the whole market failed, took Litecoin with it. So where are we now? Well, where we're at now is kind of a higher level consolidation in Litecoin. Overall, though, not looking super bullish, but hopefully we've broken the cycle of lower lows, and we have seen higher highs in Litecoin, which has been a leader in that perspective. But we do have kind of a cup with handle here. Okay, if you notice, here's a nice little cup, here's a handle. It looks like it may want to start breaking out. The volume has been kind of declining, so if you consider this the right side of the cup, volume increased on the right side of the cup, which was only 2 or 3 bars. And then in the cup, in the handle itself, we have declining volume, which is very bullish. So if we go down to the 2-hour chart, your buy point, your technical buy point for Litecoin would be up here at $67. If you want to get an early buy point, I would consider it here at $64. If volume increases, as you can see here, it's declining. If we can break this declining trend line of volume, that would be bullish. And then if price follows, that's even better. IOTA. So IOTA finally broke the trend and is bullish again. Let's go to the daily to give you the big picture in IOTA. So we've been talking about IOTA for quite some time. It's failed us time and time again. We thought maybe it would catch a bid here, but it just failed. And the volume really wasn't there quite yet. So we had a nice volume pop here, which was failed. But now we have big accumulation with a big rise. We broke this trend line. We're sitting here towards this high at about the 65 level. We're well above the 50-cent level, which we said was resistance and was proven to be resistance. But ever since it broke that 50-cent level, we're in a higher level consolidation here in IOTA. Again, semblance of some kind of a cup with a handle. And anything over the 65 level I think could be bought, especially on volume. You really want the volume to kick in. It did over here finally, which was fantastic, and it really hasn't sold off. Litecoin has been, IOTA has been very, very bullish. We're seeing higher lows. You're not even getting a sideways consolidation. It's kind of like an ascending wedge type of a formation, which apparently in cryptos means good things, because almost every ascending wedge that we found has been broken to the upside. So we'll see how this works out, but so far looking really good in IOTA. Looks like this baby is back. All right, let's check out Monero. Monero had a huge pop up here a while back. We saw that huge pop up. That was that triple 250%, 150%? That's wrong tool. It's about 150% move here. Yeah, about 100 was 200%. Yeah, it was 200% move in Monero. We came down here, and then we were living in this channel, and it broke above this channel very, very nicely. We tested the channel line a couple of times here, and now we're kind of living in this upper area. So this is good for Monero, very good for Monero. You want to trade this for an entry on a shorter term time scale, just due to the fact it's really not really that clear on the daily. You do have the all-time highs here, but hopefully you get in earlier than that. I will say that this open here at the 125 level looks like that could be a good place to place a buy point. An early buy point, though, if you have some really good volume. If you notice volume's declining really nicely here on Monero, holding in the upper part of the range, which is bullish. If we can break over maybe this 123, 124 level on good volume, that would be a great entry point for Monero. Dash has been extremely strong lately as well. Let's go to the daily on Dash. It broke into all-time highs recently on very good volume after just a very flatline volume in a declining price trend. We have this nice bottoming candle. I think this was the fork. I think this was the fork cancellation. No, actually, I think this was the fork cancellation. Excuse me. But we had this nice bottoming candle here. Good volume. Bar closing the upper part of the range, which is very nice, which just kind of proceeded. Look at this one volume day. It's not going to give it to you because of this candle, but look at how low this volume is. Average was 2,000. This was 961. It was half of average, when most everything was not that low volume for quite some time. But price tightened up, which preceded this very nice pop. When things start to go sideways and then start to tighten up, you got to pay attention to that. This was a very short-term pattern, but when it popped here, we noted in the chat room, and it was just it just never stopped. It just kept going. I actually bought right here. I ended up selling a little early. I don't remember exactly why, I forget, but I'll have to go back and check my trades. But I bought here, sold it at a bad time, and then it just, boom, it exploded, had a massive run in Dash. Now it's going to consolidate that run. Maybe we're going to end up with something like this, where we end up with another push higher, but we are on all-time highs in Dash, which is very, very good. Ethereum Classic starting to catch kind of a move with Bitcoin Cash, where they think that these forked coins are going to run. I don't know if that's the case with Ethereum Classic. Bitcoin Cash just had a hard fork to give it more network bandwidth, and it appears that that went well. Ethereum Classic, not so much to my knowledge. Really nothing going on here. Just kind of a symbiotic move with the other sub-fork. So Omisego finally had a move. Finally had a good move. Volume, as you can see, not very good on the daily chart, but it is some kind of volume. Could be good for longer term traders here, for longer term hodlers. I haven't advocated doing much with Omisego, but here it looks like we've gone sideways. And while we're not very quiet, we are holding higher, which is bullish. So we're kind of stuck in a trading range between $6. Hopefully we don't get back down to that level, and kind of the 850 level. Anywhere between anything lower than 650, I think, could be bought. Anything could be sold probably above the 750 level. All right, moving on to Neo. Neo not really doing much. Kind of a little disappointing in Neo. But you should never forget about Neo. It can make some big moves, as it did here for a course of a week. Went over from, was it $18 up to $36? That's quite a significant move. And then it's just been living in this channel, going sideways, kind of downtrending, but in this channel just living. Excuse me. So living in this channel, just kind of waiting for some action. I'm going to talk about Qtum for a second, but not very long. Don't buy Qtum. All right. Ooh, skipped over EOS. Why did I do that? EOS. My goodness. After EOS's news about they're going to have 1,000 apps on their platform, had this huge pop, then had a very nice symmetrical triangle. Broke out today. We were catching that in the chat room. It was a very, very good trade. Very good trade. A lot of people missed this boat, though. It happened very fast. Happened very quickly. If you weren't on top of it, if you were asleep or in the bathroom, you pretty much would have missed it. And then it just kind of had some wild swings up here. But now we're just kind of living and consolidating higher. Really, really good volume at EOS at this moment in time. I would not lose track of this coin, to be honest with you. I feel as if EOS and Lisk are going to be two coins. We're going to talk about Lisk next. Two coins that could potentially make big platform runs like Ethereum made back before its heyday. So Ethereum, $30 billion market cap. EOS and Lisk have under $1 billion market cap. So keep that in mind. I think Neo is the only other platform coin that, other than IOTA, that is over $1 billion. I think Neo's $1 billion and change. EOS is sub 800 million if I'm going off the top of my head. Actually, I don't know if I have to, because I have CoinMarketCap up here and I was looking at it. So let's check it out. So Neo just under 2 billion actually, and then IOTA 1.7 billion, Lisk 866, EOS 788. So think about it. Lisk could go tenfold on us and kind of be up there if this gets some good network adoption. I'm doing some research on Lisk. I really want to do a video on it. I'm very interested in the platform, and if we notice the change over 24 hours, these platform coins have really been running. EOS, Lisk 16%, Stellar Lumens. I don't know if that's a platform coin. Excuse me on that one. I think that is a platform. But EOS and Lisk doing double-digit percentage points on the 24-hour. IOTA almost 10%. Pretty much, and Neo 5%. Most of the other coins aren't doing that bad. Even Ethereum up 5%. Bitcoin at 3%. Everything else is in single digits. The platform coins are the ones that they're investing in. And I think for good reason. If you're an institution, you really want to be involved in the platform coins. Okay. And those are the ones that are making the moves here. So let's get to Lisk. Look at this volume. Pushing into not all-time highs here. Pushing into recent highs here. Let's go into the daily. So I want to zoom out on Lisk on the daily. It's already had a big run. But looking at its market cap, it's still small potatoes. It still has room to run, and it's had two very large bases. And the last time I was looking at Ethereum, when it had two really large bases, was right here. Okay, it came up, had two large bases, then it had a huge run up. I'm not advocating that's exactly how this one plays out, but at some point in time it will run, and it could be a very large run. Let's go back to Lisk. So we're going to end this video with Lisk, just so you guys know. I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but we've had two big runs up in Lisk, and I think we could get a potential third pop if Lisk has some really good news, maybe something like an Ethereum alliance. I don't know what's going to push it up higher like that, but I think you're going to see some kind of good move in Lisk. Technically, this is very, very good coin. If we're on the daily, keep in mind. And look, there's no selling to be had in Lisk. There's just no selling. And if you look here, we're just going to zoom in. The volume's been very low, very dry, and then boom, we get the pops in volume again. So the pops in volume, we haven't even gotten the large volume yet. This is still early volume in Lisk, so this could be a very early stage move. If you want to hold this coin for 6 months, I think you'll be very highly rewarded. Alright guys, so there you go. There's the video. There's kind of the top 10 coins. I wanted to go over those. And I think the market's very bullish here. I think Bitcoin is going to start running. I think Ethereum is also going to start running in kind. I think we're going to get kind of a symbiotic move in the markets now with institutions coming in. I think this is a good bottom in Bitcoin at this moment in time until volume and price action proves me otherwise. I think we're good to go. I think we'll hit all-time highs. I think we'll still get to 10,000, although not quite as quick as my 10,000 video suggested, obviously, but I think we're still going to get there relatively quickly. So, alright guys, there you go. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe if you liked it. I'll see you guys in the chat room and in the comments. See you later.